Hey guys, thanks for watching Beyond Science. It's Mikexingchen. I've been on the road for the last week or so, and a lot of interesting news articles start flooding my inbox from you guys, and thank you so much for sending them. And there are two in particular I want to talk about. In the first story, and I'm a little late on this, a group of scientists just found a mysterious hidden void in the Great Pyramid of Giza that could finally help us unravel the secrets of this ancient megalithic monument. They did this by using a cosmic particle detector, and they were initially testing if the equipment could get accurate scans through the pyramid's thick walls, but instead of seeing what they expected, they saw a large empty space with really no obvious entrance. Basically, a mysterious floating void with no way in. Now, to make sure this wasn't some epic fail or some expensive prank, they took the time to use two other detection techniques to confirm it, and yes, it turns out the images were correct, so they announced their amazing historical discovery last week. Now, if you don't know, the Great Pyramid of Giza was supposedly made during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, and most researchers believe it was completed in 2550 BC, but evidence such as fossils and water erosion suggests it's much older than that. Dr. Robert M. Schlock was one of the first scientists to really tackle the subject of the plateau structures being older than previously thought. In the early 1990s, he suggested that the Sphinx was thousands of years older than typically believed, going back to 5000 to 9000 BC. And he came to this conclusion based on water erosion patterns found both on the statue and the surrounding rock. Some researchers also recognized the amazing ingenuity of the architects who so perfectly measured and cut huge blocks of stone, aligned them with constellations, and perhaps even designed it to generate electricity on a massive scale. The point is, the mysteries of these pyramids are just incredible. They really are amazing examples of a highly sophisticated and advanced civilization. And to figure out what they really are, we may have to rely on some advanced technology of our own. Now, the cosmic particles used to scan the pyramids are called muons. They're similar to electrons, but 207 times heavier. And if you don't know, when cosmic rays hit our Earth's atmosphere, they shoot these subatomic particles called muons towards the ground. And when they pass through objects, they give off some energy, and that's what those strategically placed muon detectors in the Giza pyramid recorded. And over several months, scientists gathered bits of data, zipping through the thick stone blocks, and finally created an image, kind of like a cosmic X-ray photo, a really expensive one. However, the image of this mysterious void is not very clear, so they're not really sure what it is, except that it's above the Grand Gallery, it's empty, and it measures around 100 feet long. Some researchers think it could be a construction gap that ancient builders used to access the king's chambers and Grand Gallery during the pyramid's construction. According to Harvard Egyptologist Peter Demanulan, all we know is that we have a void, we have a cavity, and it's huge, which means possibly intentional and certainly worthy of further exploration. In that sense, it's obviously frustrating. On the other hand, as an architectural discovery, something we didn't know about the interior of the Great Pyramid, it's absolutely big news. And of course, with all the ridicule over theories of ancient aliens building the pyramids, many researchers, they're kind of scared to make any daring speculations about what this hidden room in the Great Pyramid could be for. But here's my guess. Maybe it was used to store giant 100-foot tall mummies or an ancient stash of Egyptian chili oil. Okay, probably not. But whatever it was, this is the greatest discovery inside the Giza pyramid since the 19th century. And I really can't wait to know what else they find in there. So congratulations to the Skin Pyramids team. This was the purpose of their project, to reveal hidden secrets of these magnificent, mysterious monuments, and they have really done that. Next up, and this was a story I heard years ago, and recently a lot of you guys have been sending it to me to talk about. This is a really interesting story reported by the Pravda newspaper, a major newspaper in Russia. The report was published in 2005, and it talked about a boy named Boris, and he claims that he was reincarnated from, well, a Martian. According to the report, the boy's mother said that she had Boris with almost no pain, so right away that was strange, and as soon as she brought him home from the hospital, she started noticing strange things about him. For example, he hardly ever cried, he didn't get sick, and he started speaking full sentences after only 8 months. When he was 2 years old, Boris started drawing a mixture of colors, and when the sketches were shown to psychologists, they said that Boris was probably trying to draw people's auras. And by the age of 3, Boris started telling his parents about, well, the universe. According to his mother, he could name all the planets of the solar system and even their satellites. He was showering me with names and numbers of galaxies. At first, I found it very frightening. I thought that my son was out of mind, and then I decided to check if those names really existed. I took some books on astronomy, and I was shocked to find out that the boy knew so much about this science. Because of all this, Boris became somewhat of a celebrity. He would tell anybody who would listen about alien civilizations, ancient 3-meter tall giants who used to inhabit the Earth. He would even talk about future events like global warming. Of course, no one really believed him. Now, what was really interesting was that Boris can remember his past life. lives. Of course, reports and studies of kids remembering their past lives is really nothing new. Some kids recall themselves being soldiers, some even remember being their own grandparents, but Boris surprised everyone when he claimed that he remembers a life when he was a Martian and lived on Mars. He said that he remembered the Martians waging war all the time, and that they would observe Earth in triangular spacecrafts that could travel through space and time. He also said that there is still life on Mars to this day, but because of a global catastrophe, Mars lost its atmosphere, so all the beings now live underground. When asked what the Martians look like, Boris described them to be over 7 meters or 23 feet tall and all possessed special abilities. Again, this all seemed pretty unbelievable, but scientists from all over took an interest in Boris, such as specialists at the Institute of Earth Magnetism and Radio Waves of the Russian Academy of Sciences, who photographed Boris's aura and found it convincingly strong. Other scientists studied Boris and came to the conclusion that he knew information that really he shouldn't have. And I'll put a link to the full interview with Boris in my description box below so you guys can listen for yourself. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think we have found all the mysteries inside the pyramids, or there's so much still yet to be found? Personally, like I mentioned before, I don't believe that the pyramids were built to be used as tombs for pharaohs. I mean, that's a whole lot of waste of material and space. And from every new scientific report talking about how the pyramids might have been constructed, I'm just not convinced that the ancient Egyptians had the ability to build this thousands of years ago. And I think with all the theories we have about the pyramids, all that we've discovered, it's great. I love new discoveries. I love shedding new light on puzzles, but I just don't think that mystery is even close to being solved. Also, let me know your thoughts on the child who claimed he was Martian in a past life. But let's say for a fact, reincarnation is real. And according to many Eastern philosophies, we can reincarnate into animals, we can reincarnate into plants. Now, let's say that aliens do exist. Then the question would be, is reincarnation only limited to Earth? Not saying I buy this story, I just find all this really interesting. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you later.